Stop blaming your lack of success on events that take time away from you and start reflecting. I don't want you to blame yourself. Reflect on your time leaks. So, I want you to imagine your life as this sort of bucket, and you have a limited amount of time every single day. So, everyone's got 24 hours, and I want you to imagine that those 24 hours are snuggled into this bucket. Now, certain activities will that are just essentially part of um, human life, like probably eating, probably sleeping, probably working your 9 to 5, they're going to be there, and they're already going to take a very large portion of time from your 24-hour bucket. So let's say you sleep fairly decently, you sleep 7, 8 hours. That's 15, 16, 17 hours you have left. Add another 10 hours on top of that for your work. You have 6, 7, 5 hours left. Maybe add the 2 hours you're going to be eating throughout the whole day. That's 3 hours you have left. Maybe if you work out consistently, almost every day, maybe 1.5, 2 hours top of that. What you have left is probably somewhere between 1 and 2 hours, if we're being realistic here. And now, a lot of people might say, Ivan, that's not enough time for me to try to expand my skill set and try to get into any kind of sort of productive thing that will eventually aid me in the future. And as such, individuals like that, they have this excuse ingrained in their minds, and they don't even try to take the inputs that will drive them to the their desired outputs in the long run. And so they waste their time. They go hanging out with friends just for the sake of it. They go out in nightclubs, um, further sacrificing their sleep. They go out with girls on nights, engaging in promiscuous behavior and sexually depleting themselves, which further negatively contributes to their, you know, whole health, their whole recovery, their whole drive to take action, their whole energy levels. There's a whole nother story for this. And they also waste time scrolling mindlessly on social media. And if we take those individuals and we compare them to the people we see at the top, the people we idealize, they are very selfish with their time. Maybe they've got 1, 2, 3 hours at max of free time during their average day. What do they decide to do with it? They often have to always reject going out with friends. They have to often reject going out for nightclubs, even doing some kinds of activities that would be considered healthy for you, like going for a run with your friends, like going for a hike, going for a walk, or a walk in the nature. And while those kinds of activities could actually be beneficial for you, these individuals had set for themselves a very specific goal, and whatever action doesn't align with it, it is unrelentlessly discarded away from their lives. Now, this can take some suffering because, you know, if you've been someone like me that has always needed external validation from other individuals, from friends, I've always needed a sense of belonging, this whole uh, social atmosphere. Um, you will find it very uncomfortable because even though you might not, you know, 100% relate to your friends, you just want to be around people because for some reason um, you're looking for the attention you probably didn't get maybe in your childhood or anything like that. And it's really uncomfortable. It will feel like you're doing the wrong thing. You will feel like you're missing out on life. You will have your friends telling all sort of stories of how their drunk friends did some crazy, unbelievable, funny thing, and you should have been there. How, the walk they had, your healthier friends, was very lovely. They met this girl, now they're dating, and you're left thinking to yourself, man, am I really missing out on all of this just for a goal I set for myself? The answer is yes, you're missing out a lot. You're missing out on a lot of things. And just because you're missing out doesn't mean you have to be worried about it. It doesn't mean that you have to attach a negative meaning to missing out on life because matter of fact is you're missing out on a whole bunch of other opportunities you might have never imagined possible. You're probably missing out right now on just probably going skydiving with a stranger. You're probably missing out on suddenly finding this 10 out of 10 model who now wants to date you. You're probably missing out on very funny uh, social experiences um, outside with your friends. Maybe you're missing out on being part of this story of those same friends um, when you get to the future. So when everyone's got their life sorted, when everyone's got their careers, when everyone's got their whole life figured out, they probably won't be referring to you as the guy who they had amazing, amazing, funny experiences with. Maybe they'll talk in a very humorous tone about the the funny stories they've had with their drunk friends, and you won't be part of it because you're focused on your North Star. You're focused on this idea, this goal that suddenly popped inside your mind, and now you're obsessed with it. You will miss out on it. But the thing to reflect on here isn't whether you're missing out or not, whether that's a good thing or not. The thing to reflect it on here is what are you willing to miss out on? So you're missing out on that because you don't want to miss out on something that's of a much bigger importance to you, which is essentially achieving financial success, being time free, so not being um, attached with golden handcuffs to a job that takes up all of your time and leaves you none for yourself, for your hobbies, for your passions. Maybe you're even achieving locational freedom, the ability to live wherever you want to travel to, wherever you want to explore wherever you want. And maybe you would also be missing out on all of the things that materialistic success could bring to you. Maybe you would never have to worry about getting an expensive pair of glasses again because you're wearing broken ones. Maybe you never have to worry about, you know, spending too much on cereal, like books, like paper, and anything else that expands your mind, that expands yourself, that makes you become a better individual. Maybe you don't have to worry about, going to the grocery and just getting what's best for you, what's best for your diet in terms of uh, in nutritional terms, because guess what? Now you can afford red meat all the time. Now you can afford the expensive grains that would otherwise be unavailable or very uncomfortable for you to afford. And as such, your quality of life improves and it all reflects on your body, your physique, how you carry yourself, the energy you carry with yourself, your mental space, your spiritual well-being, because food also carries energy. The kind of food you feed yourself also has an impact on your spiritual self, because life is like a planet. It's like our little blue planet, Earth. It has its own ecosystems, and they're all interchangeably exchanging energy within each other constantly, all the time. And the moment take one of these ecosystems out of the equation, the whole world disrupts. The whole system disrupts. It can either destroy itself, or that's most likely to happen, or it just essentially suffers a lot. If it took the hydrosphere from the world, guess what? There's no more water. Guess what? There's no more life, mostly, because humans, animals, almost every kind of um, living species depends on water. And guess what? There's no more organic compound for Earth. So there's no more geosphere. Guess what? Plants have died as well. The atmosphere also dies off because there's no more photosynthesis, there's no more oxygen. That's how the whole world dies. The same goes for the human species, the same goes for the human self. You can be taking care of your physical, your psychological well being, but if you're missing out on your spiritual well being, guess what? Everything goes out the fucking window. Nothing else you do matters because you are not spiritually aligned. The same goes for people who may be very well spiritually centered, um, have a lot of awareness going on and introspectiveness going into their consciousness, but they're not physically taking care of themselves, meaning they don't work out, meaning they don't engage in physical activities, meaning they uh, binge on food that might not be really good for them. And as a consequence, every other aspect suffers. And so you will be facing a very tough time in your journey later down the line. So, what's the whole point of this video? You have a choice to make every day, every hour, every second. The moment you claim it's not your choice, because deep down, every single thing you do, you have control over. I decided to pick up this water bottle. If someone told me, if someone were to be sitting in this room right now with me, and they said, you can't pick up this bottle, I just did it. What does that mean? I have control over my choices. So, when you're in a similar situation, when you're maybe just living work and you're 9 to 5, and you want to get home and study and focus on your online business, um, and someone comes up to you, hey, you should come and hang out with us. We're going out for a couple of drinks. And you feel hesitant. You feel like you're doing a disservice if you reject such a polite invite to spend a good time together. A good time together. More like a um, collective distraction. And so, with it, you're left wondering with yourself, do I really have a choice? You do. Am I being coerced? You still have a choice. Am I being manipulated? You still have a choice. Am I being threatened? You still have a choice. Now, most of the cases you won't be, unless you have a gun pointing in your head. I don't think you have any reason, any absolute reason to not go all in on your objectives and reject any kind of invite, any kind of choice that goes against your north star. That's what I wanted to reflect about today. It should give you a very freeing sensation. So I guess we'll see in the next one.